All right, welcome into Bettor's Last Stand, episode 17, show 17. I can't believe we've been doing this 17 weeks. Chris is in for Luke today, Coach and Matt here as well, as usual.
Hey,
we are here in the WVOY studio. It's actually kind of nice outside today. We probably could have done a thing outside, but Coach has been busy. I've been busy. Chris rushed to get here after a long work day, so we're happy to have this studio at our disposal, not disposable. But Job got us all set up, ready to go here. Our headphones were acting up a little bit, so that's why we don't have those on, but we're still recording, and things seem to be going well. Guys, welcome, as usual. Going to talk, obviously, about college football, pro football, as we usually do, touch a little bit on the World Series from last week, as well as some college basketball here in this first segment. So we got a lot of things to jump into. Remember to follow us on social media at the Pine Room Podcast. You can check out our stuff there. We did a cool thing last night with our regular podcast. We had a Wallaby up at the Pine Room, Coach, Odie.
Yeah.
So you reached out to, how'd you get in touch with Sean there from?
Because I found out that they were having this exotic animal show at the penitentiary. So I got a hold of Tom Stiles, who I worked with to get us in there. And then he hooked me up with Sean Alexander, the contact person for that. And then Sean was more than willing to come up. He was just in town to find out if his advertising was going to get kicked off of the, onto the all the billboards and what other avenues. Yeah. But anyway, he was very happy to come up and was appreciative. He texted me today and thanked me and wants to know when it's coming out. But anyway, the Wallaby, that was pretty cool.
That was fun, and I had never even heard of that expo.
I didn't either.
When we got out of the text message a few days prior, I'm like, I didn't even know something like that existed. And he said they get a nice turnout down there. So.
2,000 people. So
we may appreciate him coming up with his wife.
We may go down and see what we can get into down there. Maybe we can handle some spiders and
3rd and 4th, right?
Third and fourth or fourth?
I think it was third and fourth.
Third and fourth. But anyway, we'll see if we can head down there and do some fun stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I was hoping that we could get some exotic animals in here to pick college football games for us. They probably would have done better than me and you did last week. So Luke had the best week of all of us as far as betting goes. His picks were pretty strong across the board.
Yes.
He had his Illinois coming through and Michigan State against Illinois. And,
Notre
Dame against Clemson. Yeah, so we'll talk more about that when we get to the college football segment, our second segment. But first thing, I guess we'd talk about just some stuff in the news from a gambling standpoint. Overnight, California votes overwhelmingly against the sports betting. Prop 26 and Prop 27 both shot down last night in the Golden State. That's obviously a surprise a little bit, but if you were following it closely, the Indian tribes were really, really, really pushing hard to
Who voted for that? The general public?
Yes.
Oh.
It was like our things here. This the Amendment 2 and all that 1, 2, 3, 4 that we had here. They had theirs there. They had several of them, obviously, but the two sports bettings, they had two options to get it. The one I think I mentioned one time on here about it was dealing with the homeless and things like that, and people saw right through that. They thought that was just politician speak and that they were just basically lying about it, trying to get it through. But they thought they could package it like that. But the natives held strong here, and they want to be the monopoly. They don't want to work with any of the providers, and that's causing an issue. But apparently the people were fine with it. The majority of the people voted for it, a vast number of them, and sports betting is dead in California until 2024. So at the earliest is the next time it could be up on the ballot. So anyway, that was big news. We also had the Nevada Gaming's investigating some strange occurrences in the UFC fight, a fight that happened Saturday between basically two no-name fighters. Is Derek Minner and then that Shaylin Nuda Bianchi or something along those lines. I heard him pronounced similar to that. I know I probably butchered it, but anyway, really odd occurrences here as money continued to pour in on this Newton Bianchi guy. As the fight got closer, he started around 210 favorite and closed near $5. People were just running all over town in Nevada, up and down the strip, betting this. They were betting it offshore, and they were betting it in different of some of the bigger jurisdictions on the East Coast, New York and New Jersey especially. But word got out on this. something was up. The kid Minner. This is like a no-name fight. This wasn't even a big fight. No one would be paying attention to this on a Saturday with that kind of college football that was on, and that's what triggered Nevada Gaming. They had more on this match than they did on some of the biggest football games on Saturday.
Really?
So that immediately triggers. That's an alarming thing. This isn't a pay-per-view UFC title fight.
So what?
Yeah.
What was
so
it?
anyway, they're thinking that word got out that the Minner kid was hurt and he had a bad leg. And if you watch the video of the fight, he comes right out and he's striking with his leg immediately. It was bizarre, and you could tell when he's kicking the guys like he's definitely not normal here. So they're thinking that either he, for some reason, was trying to just get the fight over with and not really, but somebody knew in his camp that he was vulnerable. So the question is whether he actually took a dive here. People were betting this thing under the 2.5 rounds. They were betting at the end in the first round. I mean, they were betting at everything in parlays, all kinds of bets.
And they all hit?
And everything hit.
Wow.
Yeah. So he goes down about 40 seconds into the fight. The referee stops it. And, people won, and that immediately triggered investigations in several states, including Nevada. The UFC come out with some responses, obviously, that they're investigating it, and there's no room for that in there. And, that's the thing you always worry about, and you don't see it as much in UFC, but at least you haven't, that we know of. But in the old days of boxing, smaller boxing, people would always say things were fixed and guys take dives. And they're getting paid off. And I don't know what you could have done, or if one of these guys, this is a low-end card or low-end fight on the card. So maybe these guys were in a spot where they would take a bribe, or they thought, hey, man, you're hurt. Just go out there. You try to give it your best, and then once you are hurt anymore, just take a dive.
Yeah.
Just stop fighting. And then he did. He basically covered up on the ground, and the dude beat him until the referee stopped it. But anyway, keep an eye out on that. That's always interesting when Nevada Gaming gets involved. It doesn't happen a lot in our North American sports. It happens a lot across the world. Tennis, soccer, in some of these areas of the world that don't really have great governing bodies. There was a story a couple years ago where a guy in an African league scored in his own net to put the game over. They found out that he bet like $30,000 on his team on the game to go over the total. So he
wonder if he tried to accidentally look like accidentally.
No, he turned around and kicked it straight in. Yeah, so it's like the jig was up kind of there.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, so those were interesting things. Yeah, sure. Go ahead, ask.
No, just on that Nevada fight with those two guys. Now are the payouts on hold because of the investigation?
No, there's really nothing you can do about that. I mean, these tickets have been cashed already.
So if the investigation,
that guy.
Then what? Then what?
Well, you're basically saying the guy that took the dive is probably suspended for life from the UFC, I would imagine.
Okay.
And then obviously there's going to be there's probably going to be additional standards put in to assure where and I don't know when these guys get checked out by a doctor or whatever, like pre-match. I know they do it the day before and things, but there could be more rigorous, testing or whatever you want to do, checks, just to make sure that this stuff doesn't happen. Because the last thing you would want is people. UFC brand is as big as it's ever been right now. They don't want anything like this. It would be a negative for their sport. But definitely alarming when this was taken as much as Notre Dame, Clemson.
Yeah, this was a prelim and two no names, and they're
yes,
taking
and on a card that was not a strong card. It was just this week is UFC 281, so the big card this week. Usually a week before that, it's a lesser card. It's not great anyway. So yeah, the fact that this was taking that kind of money and the guys were going across town. I mean, the word was out. People were coming with duffel bags of money into these books. It's
incredible.
It. So
why didn't you get on that, Mark?
We didn't know.
Yeah, I wish I'd have known.
It's interesting. They said there was a guy on a podcast, or actually it was a radio show, I think, that kind of tipped people off to it, and people were going back and kind of dissecting what he was saying, almost like he was telling people about it, somebody that they thought was close to one of the camps. But anyway, interesting stuff. Always stuff to keep an eye on. You never know. Wherever there's people can take bribes. We talk about it before about officials being vulnerable, but these lower guys on the card, these guys aren't making a ton of money. They're just trying to make their way through this, and they could be susceptible to bribery for sure. And if the guy's already hurt, maybe he's thinking like, I want my payday, and I'm going to also help some people out and get paid some more. So Who knows?
It seems like anytime there's money involved, there's always corruption.
I mean, Ted DiBiase, right?
Yes.
Yep.
It's sad.
Everybody's got a price. But all right, let's touch a little bit about your guys' thoughts about the World Series.
Speaking of money.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Geez.
Mattress Mac.
$75 million.
Where'd he bet that?
Various properties in a couple of spots. Got about plus 750 on the Astros. Got down $10 million.
When did he bet that?
Before, like, early in the season. It was like in April. So yeah, he was way ahead of it this time. Still surprised that more business people don't go to this model. I think it's an incredibly genius model to hedge yourself in a way where you're insuring yourself, and then you can also make money off of it even more than you already had. And at the worst, you're breaking even. At the best, you're winning a bunch, and all the people are fired up. I mean, think about how excited people will be to do this again next year for them. I mean,
yeah. Well, what was his? What if they lost? What was it? Was he given? Was it free?
They got it all, and I think I want to say this year he added a twist to it. And I could be wrong about the exact details of it, but if you spent $3,000 in the store on mattresses or couches or stuff, and he was going to actually give you back. You were going to get your furniture for free, which was if they had won, and then which they did. So they were going to get like a $3,000 coupon too. It was going to double the value that they had in there. So anyway, what it would be now they got everything free. If they would have lost, then the people all have to pay for their stuff. So he's making it out no matter what. So yeah, he's selling. His goal is to sell just enough to be exactly even. That's incredible. That's what it is. But in this case, he got such a great number early, he didn't have to worry about that. And there was guys that helped him through the first time that he did it. Now he's getting so good at it. We'll see what he comes up with next year, if he's going to change it up.
Idea.
Yeah, with a can't-lose situation.
And there's really no risk for a customer, right? Other than going in and investing money on furniture?
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, that's it. Maybe you already need or whatever. I mean, it's a giant area down there, and obviously people love the Astros. So I mean, and the goodwill that he does around the area, he's really philanthropist and really good to the area.
How long has he been operating like that, or doing things like that?
The first time that I heard about it was in 2017 that he was starting to do that, and then he kind of got, as sports betting got more popular, and when it got legalized in other states, he was able to. Nevada was cutting him off, and actually, Bill Sattler, who's a family friend and ran these books in Nevada, he told me and I'd love to have him on sometime to tell the story
we gotta get him on.
About Mac. He had a relationship with him, and basically Mac just said, "I want to get $1 million down on this," and his property wouldn't take it. And that wasn't just his call. I think it was from up above. But they didn't want a part of doing it.
Really?
And he could tell me tell us all the exact specifics. But so basically, Mac kind of called him a chicken shit.
Just learn more about it.
Yeah, but
we talked about it earlier in the podcast months ago.
But from most accounts, good dude. He got into it with the Philly fans. As you guys see
I saw that.
They were getting all over him, and he was giving it right back to him, which was great because those people were half animal anyway.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, World Series, it turned out good for me. I had Astros in 6, which you heard it right here if you took it, and Jeremy Pena for MVP at 19-1.
Yes, you did
well there.
So
those were 2 good ones for me. I actually think Luke's bet may have come in had Verlander not blown that 5-0 lead in Game 1. I think it probably would have been 4-1.
Yes,
most likely. But
who's Jeremy Pena?
He's the shortstop.
The shortstop.
Yeah,
because I was thinking
real good rookie.
Hit that home run in games.
He's the first. He's the first rookie to win. He won rookie of the year, MVP in the
ALCS and in the World Series. He's remember Geronimo Pena? That's his son.
Wow,
remember him?
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, heck of a player. And how smart were the Astros that they let Correa walk? I mean, now they look brilliant right now. For all their issues. In the past, he's a good young player. He wasn't on that cheating team. So anyway, that closes the book on baseball. Chris, it won't be long before catchers and pitchers report. I know you're excited.
Well, no, I heard that the other day. 90 days or something.
Yeah.
Well, I was just
count it down.
I was reading an article today on the Kovacevic site, and they released the within the organization, even the current guys that are. They had their top 15 guys, and Cruz was number 1. But I thought it was interesting that they have that Andy Rodriguez ranked higher than Henry Davis at catcher.
Oh yeah, the catcher they drafted. Yeah.
Yes.
What was that last
Who, Henry Davis?
Yeah, was he this past? No, the
it was
last
2
2 years
We
ago.
were down
We were at the club.
Yeah.
Yep, I remember that. Yep.
They were talking about his, but it was just interesting. So I don't know.
Uh-oh. Get ready. It's almost that time. Soup and Jared will be getting excited to go to opening day.
Ben Sherrington's quote was, "I think we're getting a lot closer to improvement."
How can you say that? I mean,
that was a quote.
How?
And they had that kid that they just drafted, Tamar Johnson,
right?
Short. So I think they had him ranked 13th. But anyway, it'll be interesting. I mean, they do have some young guys. Whether or not they're going to be any good, but it's hard to get excited about them when
it's
when they
impossible.
won't add any free agents, and they have glaring holes at first base and
catchers.
Well, catchers,
so many
catchers, a huge hole.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk more about that as we get close, as the spring comes. We'll have baseball fever. But now let's shift gears a little bit into college basketball, as we started college basketball last week, or actually this Monday. It would be the beginning of this week when you listen to this or watch it on YouTube. But college basketball underway. We talked a little bit last week about some of the tips about these early season soft lines, and the lines really they've been there to take. If you start watching the lines moving with or against certain teams, up and down on the totals, if you can jump in early enough, you're getting a pretty good return right now. Tried a little bit of this out myself this week. It's been pretty good. I've already done better in basketball than I've probably done in football in a while. But following the money is definitely a key. And again, use those KenPom ratings and some of the other rating systems to start checking teams and balancing things out. And if you see numbers moving, don't hesitate to jump on somebody. Guys, I don't know if you guys looked through any of the conferences or any of the teams to make the Final Four or any of that stuff. But anybody interest you this year in college hoops?
I just think it's going to be interesting to see. And I'm, obviously they're going to be talented as ever, but how Duke's going to be without Coach K.
Yeah.
I see they're plus 240 to win the regular season ACC.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure that. That who is it? Who's the guy that took over?
John Shire.
Yeah.
So they're still going to be awesome.
Yeah,
it'll just be weird for how many years not seeing that guy. On the
it will be
and,
actually be kind of refreshing.
He's on the sidelines, but it's just see how that goes.
What do you guys think of the Mountaineers? You think they're going to be improved?
It's hard for me to say. I've gotten bad reads on the Mountaineers the last few years from people. I've had some guys telling me how great they were going to be. That they were going to be sneaky, and then last year they were borderline pitiful.
They were bad.
The year before that they were a little bit better, but I don't know. This is a big year for them. I mean, they're almost the bottom choice in the Big 12 right now. Only Kansas State has a longer price than them right now. Mountaineers, you could get 50-1 on them to win the Big 12. Definitely wouldn't recommend that. Not sure, but I mean, I don't know. I'm anxious to see if they can press again, if they can get that up tempo going. I mean, they couldn't even score last year.
Yeah,
but I didn't think their personnel met what the strategy they were trying to do. So
it's just weird. We've had several conversations about the transfer portal and all the different sports, and I can't keep track, and I don't know how you have continuity and just to build team and teamwork when you just constantly have an influx of new guys every year.
Right.
It's got to be tough on coaches.
That's a great point, Chris. One thing I didn't mention, another important thing that I found as the season goes on, especially, is if you can find teams, get a magazine, get on the internet, buy something, whatever, that you can find stuff pretty inexpensive. Go down teams and find teams that actually have 4 or 5 seniors or 4 or 5 juniors that have played together, and you see by the end of the season, or actually the middle of the season or so, or right before the main conference stretch, you start to see these teams. Hey, this team looks like it could be good because their guys are used to playing with each other, and it takes a while. You don't know. You can have the best guys in the world talent wise, and if they're not in sync or they don't fit right, it's not going to make a difference.
Well, it seems too like, and it's. I totally agree that when you get those guys that are third year and fourth year players, they're not like 5-star guys, and they're the ones. Those are the kind of teams that seem to buy into the team concept.
Absolutely.
I don't need to be averaging 25. If I can get 10 points and get some rebounds, and you even see that in the tournament.
Right.
We get some, not upstart teams, but you'll hear the announcers and the analysts say, well, they're a cohesive unit. They've been together for 3 or 4 years, and does make a big difference when you're going up just against talented teams that,
Right. And the 5-stars, these loaded 5-star teams, the chemistry might not be there, and these experienced teams will figure out a way to beat them. If the coaching is adequate and they can have a decent matchups and strategy. But, yeah, there's no question the transfer portal, that's what I'm saying. Dive into these numbers, check them, watch them, because there's guys out there that are checking these things. There's guys that do this. That's the only thing they do for their job. I mean, so they say. But that they're doing only college basketball. So if they're starting to bet these things early and they're following the transfer portal, they know who is where. They know which guy's there, which guy's not going to play, which guy's hurt, which guy's not there till second semester. What if they even have rules like that anymore? It seems like every guy's eligible all the time now. But you got to keep an eye out for the stuff. But the numbers will tell you. Lean on the experts right now. I think it's important to know that right out of the gate. You're not going to be able to study all these teams.
Do you guys like any sleeper teams that you think could make noise in their conference?
Well, I don't know if this team's a sleeper team, but they're looks like third choice in most spots in the Big 12. Texas and Chris Beard, I think they'll be really good this year. They got some guys back and they got some talent coming in. I think he kind of was stuck with what he had when it was his first year last year. Yeah. Really good job he did at Texas Tech. He built a really good program there. Now he's at his alma mater. I expect the Longhorns to be very, very good this year. I expect them to contend with Kansas in that league. Definitely like them a lot. I'm not sure how good Baylor will be. I think they may be down a little bit.
How about A&M? You think A&M?
A&M, that's – I don't know. I can't – they're hard to gauge for me because they had new guys, and I don't know how many of their guys that they still have from last year's team. But I probably would take a wait and see on them and like Tennessee as well. Tennessee's a team that I thought 2 years ago was really good.
Yeah,
but this past year I thought they took a step backwards. Arkansas, I think, is an up and coming team. Eric Musselman's a really good coach. Obviously, in the SEC though, it's so hard to get by Kentucky. I mean, they're loaded with talent every year, but at plus 175, I don't think you can make a case to bet them guys. What about you? Would would anybody bet them at plus 175 to win that league? I don't see how you could do that.
Yeah.
Who's that, man?
Kentucky.
Oh, yeah.
In the SEC. Yeah, at plus 175. That's just too low of a price. For even though they have NBA talent across the board and 5-star blue chip dudes, takes a while for their chemistry to get together, Chris, like you said. I in the SEC, I would definitely take a shot, possibly with Arkansas. That would be the team that I like the most. Maybe take a look at Auburn too. He's done a pretty good job there, Bruce Pearl. So those would be two teams I'd be interested in the SEC. The Big Ten, Indiana seems to be the hot team right now. They're kind of they're actually the favorite in most spots, which is interesting. Iowa. Back to the pack a little bit. Illinois, not quite as good as they.
How about Purdue?
Yep, Purdue. Another one. I think they still have the Lurch kid, the giant guy.
Zach Edey?
Yeah, he's back, I think, for one more.
Yeah, I think they could make a little noise in the Big Ten.
I thought last year they probably had one of the best rosters, but they lose Ivy to the pros, who was awesome.
Yes.
But I thought that their shooting and their guard players let them down a little bit at times. And Matt Painter, I don't know. He had those two really good inside players and never played them together. I thought it was a weird strategy. So, but Purdue definitely, it's plus 650, definitely worth a look there in the Big Ten. Again, you'll start to see some of these teams will surprise you. There'll be a surprise in every league. Basically, you'll see. 1 year Penn State will be good, or Michigan State, or I kind of think Michigan State's best days are behind them, though.
But when you bring that up, like about a Penn State or teams like that caliber that just might have one good year and then they just go back to mediocrity or just totally sucking. Is that just like lightning in a bottle?
Probably, but it's probably like they got one a graduate transfer, or they came in and made an immediate impact or something like that.
Mark, before you even came in, I was looking at this, and in Nebraska's plus 10,000 to win that Big Ten, and I said, when in the hell? It's the last time they've ever been good in basketball. I can't even think of a guy that ever played there that went to the pros.
They had a run maybe like 5 years ago where they had a pretty decent team. They were pretty tough at home, but not they had a dude with a big long dreadlocks who was pretty good down low. I can't remember his name, but yeah, they were decent. But another team I wanted to talk about in the Pac-12, I think Oregon, giant front line again. They got those 7-foot dudes. I think a couple of them, and another guy 6'11". I think they'll be pretty good. Their guards seem to be a little better this year, and I think UCLA will be strong. They're probably the favorites along with Arizona in the Pac-12 at most spots. I would definitely take a peek at Oregon. Oregon, Texas, those were teams that I liked a little bit. Indiana was interesting to me. I think Houston will be pretty strong again.
What do you think of Florida State and the ACC? You like Leonard Hamilton?
I think Leonard Hamilton actually is a great recruiter, but his in-game coaching is sometimes suspect. He used to coach Miami. I really liked him a lot.
Yeah.
He brought in good players.
How long has he been down there now? I mean,
He's been in Tallahassee for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
He's going on like 20 years.
Yeah, great. But
they actually got better as the season went on last year. So I would look for them to maybe be a little better.
I like them a little bit. I like them a little bit too.
They were supposed to be down last year, and they picked it up pretty good. So I would definitely agree with you. I think that Florida State could be dangerous in that league. I'm anxious to see what Virginia will turn out to be. As well as Syracuse. Pitt has just been so bad.
Do the Mountaineers play Pitt this
they do.
Friday?
They play
Friday night?
Yeah.
Friday night.
Yep.
Does Pitt still have cable?
Yeah.
Is there a line yet on that?
No, not yet.
Not yet on
not yet.
Pitt?
Because I think
that's at Pitt, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. That should be an interesting game. That'll give us a little bit of an idea of who's good, and or at least between those teams, how they're going to look in the season outlook. One other team I wanted to mention, too, is kind of an off-the-radar one, but in the Mountain West, I think it is. Is that what it is? Yeah, Mountain West. I thought Wyoming is worth a look. San Diego State's getting all the billing in that league, but Wyoming's got, I believe they got 4 starters back. They intrigued me last year. They played probably the best season of Wyoming basketball in years. And I would look for them right now at around plus 550 or so to maybe take a shot in that league. They could win that regular season. It's not a great league. So I was looking through trying to find spots, but you just don't know how these transfers are going to turn out. And you got a lot of new teams coming into Division I, one of which Bellarmine, who's out of their probationary period. They play Louisville tonight. They were a cover machine for me last year. They really were. People just didn't know them, so you just bet. People just blindly bet against them, and they were pretty good. So be aware of those teams too. Teams that are coming into Division I play for the first or second year. Teams that you maybe remember playing against teams like West Liberty, and you say, "Well,
Tarleton State."
Yeah,
are they done their probation?
Yeah, they're in. Where they at? You know what? I don't know if I have. I don't think I have every conference on this sheet, but
was that Notre Dame out of the Mountain East Conference that beat last night? Or no, two nights ago. Notre Dame beat. Goodness.
They played an exhibition with somebody.
No. Oh shoot, who did they play? I'm trying to find out. Beat Cleveland State.
Oh yeah. Well, they play them every year. Usually,
is that Notre Dame of Ohio Mountain East Conference?
Yeah, I would think so. They play. I mean, they're right up around there.
Yeah.
So,
but I'm looking at Notre Dame's players, and I don't recognize any of these names. I don't know.
They might have got all
if they have all new
guys.
Yeah,
it's kind of
it's tough.
Upsetting that
it is.
We don't know as many guys in this.
I know. I would have known all those guys from.
Hey Matt, I did want to tell you something funny. I think it was Monday night. I on ESPN Plus. I turned on girls game. Bucknell because Kaylee Ryanview.
Right.
They were at St. Joe's.
Yeah. Did she get to play?
She started. She hit the first bucket of the game. She hit a 3.
Oh.
No, I don't know. She got about 20 minutes. But anyway, just so you know, the St. Joe Hawk.
He still
does it the whole time?
Yep, the whole time. No, it didn't seem as enthusiastic, but he was down there.
It's only game 1.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Do they do that for every event? Like if there's a volleyball?
That's based on, they get a scholarship for that. I think they give 4. I think Jarrett looked it up one time.
You can't be that.
No, the same person can't do it.
That's annoying.
Yeah.
It is.
That's annoying.
And what is it? What's good is it?
I don't know.
I guess they're trying to prove they're flying or they're soaring high.
That's a big home court advantage.
Huge.
To have him in the corner, flapping around like an idiot.
Keep an eye on that when you're making your bets if St. Joe's is at home or not. the Hawks got to be worth at least 1.5 points.
Matt, did all three of the MAC games go over the total last night?
No, I think one of them was.
Ohio went over.
There was one that was like right on the number or close to it. Depending on what you got it at.
I know there was a high scoring game. Okay. Ball State Toledo is 40. Ended up 49. It was 53.
Yeah. Yep.
And then Ohio went way over, and Akron.
Yeah, the other two were easy ones.
2 out of 3 dogs.
Yep, the dogs are hitting there.
2 out of 3 dogs.
The Maction, as they did last year, that was a big statistical advantage, I guess you could say, or a trend advantage. Dogs, a lot of dogs outright, and dogs plus the points, obviously, and then overs. Those seem to be the way it's trending again this year to start things out. Guys, any other thoughts on college basketball, Chris?
What do you guys?
I'm just happy about it. Just we have more options to watch now. We with college pro football now, we got basketball, we got hockey,
right?
Well, baseball.
I'm interested to see the Mountain East Conference. Obviously, West Liberty is going to be.
Well, they're going to have a new look, aren't they?
Yeah, new look, and even Specs. I talked to Specs today. It was surprising. He doesn't even seem as excited as he usually does because of all the new guys they have.
Changeover and stuff.
Yeah, but you know what's going to be interesting? I'm going to be interested to see how Wheeling does with all these local guys.
They play Cal first game.
Yeah,
at West
and Friday they play.
Who plays Cal?
Wheeling plays Cal.
It's at West Liberty. They're doing a crossover.
Who's West Liberty play?
Shepherd.
Oh, and then Wheeling
flip,
and then West Liberty play Cal.
You'll be able to come over and bet on those over at my place if you're interested. So
I just want to. I'm interested to see how Wheeling's going to be with all these young kids.
Well, they got what the Respect boy.
Respect from Central. Two Lindsley kids, Butter's brother. And that other kid, Ruff something, and then Beckett from Shady Side.
Still have, I think, senior, right? That Brent Price.
Brent Price, yeah, okay. Central. They have 7 local guys, so I'm going to be interested to see how that plays out.
Draw crowds because of that.
I don't know. That'd
be nice.
I bet they would.
That's interesting. It can't hurt. It's got to help.
Right.
Yeah, because it was crazy. We always talked about that when when Danny has really good teams, and you'd watch highlights, and there's like
nobody there.
60 people there.
Yeah, hopefully that'll. Hopefully that'll draw some people in. But basketball with full swing now. I think Ohio girls have started or start this week, don't they? Playing?
I don't know. I should ask my buddy Dave.
What? Well, you mean playing?
Yeah, I think they.
Well, I mean,
they're getting close.
West Virginia girls started this week practice.
I thought I saw that.
I think they've only been practicing a couple of weeks.
Okay, so they haven't started playing yet.
I don't think so.
Girls are like the first week in December.
Okay,
I think they might have a scrimmage prior to that, but I think it's like December 3rd or something.
Yeah.
So, okay. But Ohio usually always starts a week early. But
yep. All right. Well, we'll talk more about college hoops as the season goes on. That's a long season. We'll obviously do plenty of things leading up to March Madness once football's over with.
We'll probably be talking about some bad beats, right?
Absolutely. Chris, real quick before we take our first break, any observations from your point of view in hockey or NBA to start this early season? Your Cavaliers are playing well.
Yes,
your Penguins are not playing well.
Yes. With the Penguins, I mean, I don't know. I just think after a while, with all these old guys, it's going to catch up.
Yeah.
I mean, and they always say, about Father Time always wins, but not that these guys are ancient. But they didn't really do anything to change anything.
Right.
So they might be a fringe playoff team, but I'm enjoying the Cavaliers. I mean, they're 8-2 now, and Mark, you were telling me they blew a big lead the other night in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it was 112-102 with 4 minutes to go.
I think they're really highly regarded in the NBA. I mean, I know it's early, and I worry about that Garland kid because he's
fragile.
Small.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like 6'2", like 100 and
he doesn't hold up very well.
He's a hell of a player, but I don't know. And I'm surprised I'm even talking about the NBA. But that night that they did play the Celtics, I tried to watch it, and which I did, not the entire game, but just the style of basketball.
It's tough. If I bet the stuff, I'm not watching it. I can tell you that it's too hard to watch.
I agree.
it used to be you would drive the lane and try to find the guy underneath. Hell, there'd be guys driving down the lane and they contort their body to flip the pass back to the guy out and then kick it out to the guy to shoot.
When's the last time you saw a guy catch a ball with his back to the basket on a block? It just doesn't
happen. Never.
I'd love to see him dump it down to Kareem
doesn't happen.
And it's just,
if you can't shoot a 3 and dribble with 7 foot, you can't play.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
I'm not sure I'd watch any sports if I wasn't gambling on it.
It's tough. There's not many out there that you can stand.
Do you think you could do that though? Just take like a month off. Say, you know what, I'm going to stop betting.
I'll stop betting or stop watching sport. Well, I guess if that's correlation.
If you would just say, you know what, I'm stressing myself out. I've lost some bets.
Once football's over, yes, but not during football.
But then you're
not during football.
Even, basketball.
Yeah, and then I'll be sitting around and. Yeah, I'll look at the card and I'll say, "Ooh, I like his team."
You'll ask Nick if he likes anybody, and he'll give you a big one.
Even prior to that, you might be looking at your channel guide. I can't find anything good. No, I'm caught up on my series. Well, let me see what's on the college. And then you got 6 or 7 games.
I did bet against the Bucks the other night on their first loss.
Oh, you really?
Yeah,
the
Hawks.
The
Hawks beat them. The Hawks beat them, yeah. So I had the other way in that one.
Well,
and then I did bet against the Cavs too.
If you did have to give up one of 2 things for Lent, betting or beer.
Oh, betting definitely. But they go together so well. That's a trick question.
They go together so well.
That's a trick question.
How well they go together.
I jumped at that too soon, I think.
Well, anyway, we're going to take a quick break, come back and talk about Chris's favorite, the college football card. We'll be right back on Bettor's Last Stand.
This show is for informational and entertainment purposes only. All wagering activity should only be conducted by those 21 years of age or older and within the confines of federal, state, and local law. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, contact 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537.
Welcome back into Bettor's Last Stand, episode 17. Chris with us as Luke is out for a few weeks. Chris, I'm glad you were able to make it. We appreciate you
shoes to fill with
filling
Luke,
in.
Especially he was so red hot. He said he had some good winners last week. So
he was. Be sure and check out our stuff, Pine Room Podcast, at the Pine Room Podcast on social media. Contact at thepineroompodcast.com for email. Be sure and check out the shop. Jub always has stuff going on there. Hopefully we get some wintery stuff, some seasonal gear I think he's working on. That's thepineroomshop.com, so be sure check that out. We got Soup and stuff in full swing. Soup never stops. He's had 2 episodes out already. He's working on a 3rd. He was trying to line somebody up for this week. Always got Job on the move. Never ends with that guy, so we love his energy. Be sure and check it out. He did awesome stuff there with Sarah's on Maine and the one that he did with the Brad, the workout guy. So cool stuff there. Got the Veterans Dinner at the Warwood Vets on November the 12th, 4 to 6. Figure 80s, one of our sponsors, is catering that event, so be sure and check that out. It's $10 for non-veterans. Veterans will come in and eat for free, I believe, with their spouse. I think that's how it works. But check it out. Warwood Vets, Saturday night should be a good time. Come down, have some beers, have a good meal, support the veterans, and just have some fun. Our generations pick with Luke Duplaga, 1-1 last week. He can't win them all. That's just how that goes. But we'll see if we can get Luke.
We ready for Luke?
We'll get him on at the beginning of the 3rd segment.
Okay,
so we'll do that. Bush Light picks fall to 5-5. We tried hockey last week because Soup was at the game. Didn't work out. Bush Light's probably going to get ready to cut ties with the Soup. We can't pick a winner here.
Was that Soup's first time at a game?
Yeah. So I got to ask him today about
he sounded like he was pretty
overall.
excited to be there.
Yes.
He said the electricity was cool.
So he was at Carolina Hurricanes. Again, we touched on the California voting, the UFC. That was one thing I didn't mention during the NBA talk, Chris. NBA underdogs, 13-2 on Monday night. That's interesting.
Wow.
A lot of good dogs covering there. And in college hoops, you had a bunch of upsets the other night, so again, keep an eye on all that stuff. We got lots going on college football-wise. We're going to jump into this card. Public dogs were the story again last week with everybody being on Tennessee. The people got behind them heavily. and we saw that Georgia's just a lot better than them. So that was my observations. I know you guys were busy with the bocce tournament last week, so you probably didn't get to see a ton of that
I didn't
game.
see a whole lot.
But you didn't miss a whole lot.
I got slaughtered, though. I know that.
Yeah.
What I did bet, I got
it was rough. It was not pretty, but we'll get back at it this week and see what we can do. Luke was our hot guy last week, so hopefully one of us can turn the page. I was concentrating mostly on horse racing on Saturday.
And how'd that go for you?
Not bad. I did the favorite won the classic, so it kind of hurt the payouts, but missed on a really, really big long shot about 3 races out that really would have made the day lucrative. But not bad. Still was better than I did in football, so that's always a positive. But all right, let's get into the card. We got games on Wednesday, which is tonight. Those MAC games we mentioned. You will see this on Friday, so we'll go to Friday's card. Anything stand out in those games, guys? East Carolina at Cincinnati, Colorado at USC, or Fresno State UNLV. I don't really have a thought.
I'm not going to stay home to watch much of that.
Chris probably interested in East Carolina, Cincinnati.
Gee, I mean, and USC's a 34-point favorite against Colorado.
Yeah,
Colorado stinks. Colorado's they're 1-8. They're a really we knew that at the beginning they were going to be a bad football team. So
that's too many points. But you say USC's playing at home, but
I don't know. Could be.
I would say if I played it, I'd probably play Colorado a little bit. Just
the number might go up too, so you might be able to get 5 touchdowns eventually. So keep an eye on that. We'll see. We'll probably be following our high school playoff stuff that night. We got lots going on.
I don't
with
have
that
a game now because my game
I know your game got moved to tomorrow.
Still looking for some information on that. I still shake my head that game got moved.
Yeah.
Still shake my head.
Yeah, so those of you who aren't aware, it's the first time you're listening. Again, thanks for everybody who's our loyal listeners. We appreciate everybody checking us out here on Bettor's Last Stand. But right here at the studio 2 doors down from here, we do our Monday high school show. That's our high school oriented show. We go through the high school card, Ohio and West Virginia in football, have some fun with that, make betting lines, makes picks, talk about who's the hot teams, dive into it pretty good. Chris is always on the move, checking out places for us and giving us good intel. That's 2 to 3 every Monday, so be sure and check us out. Next week we'll talk more about West Virginia playoffs, so it'll be week 2, and then Ohio's getting down to the regional finals here pretty soon. So good stuff. Be sure and check us out there, the Pine Room Podcast on the Watchdog. So, again, thanks to our Watchdog folks for everything they've done for us. All right, guys, let's waste no more time and get into the noon kicks on Saturday. Let's start out with the Tennessee Volunteers, who we just mentioned. They've turned into a big-time public team. They will host the Missouri Tigers. The Volunteers minus 20.5, the total 56.5. Does Tennessee get back after it this week? They probably had a miserable week. Everybody on their ass about how bad they were. They're still in the playoff mix, so I think they'll be focused. Yeah. But what do we think? Missouri's been a little better, but
Missouri's been a little better. But I think Tennessee bounces back.
Okay.
Yeah, they bounce back at home. I just wonder, are there going to be any weather issues? I think that hurricane on the East Coast is going to be gone, isn't it?
I mean, it looks like it could be up north of us, up the coast. Yeah, so we'll see how it hovers out over there. You could see things maybe northern Pennsylvania.
It'll be gone through Tennessee and all that.
I believe so, unless something breaks off. You never know how that could turn. Something could break off, but it doesn't look like it will trek that way. So I wouldn't expect to see
nothing like Ohio State last week.
No, I haven't seen any major wind things, anything like that. But I'm sure some of the games, high school games on the East Coast, could be affected, and some of the games down in Florida that would maybe be played on a Friday night are probably going to be moved now.
Of course, you'd like to see a nice snowstorm at some of these games, wouldn't you?
I haven't even seen a snowflake.
No.
It's week 11.
And there really hasn't, the weather really hasn't been, other than some exceptions, the weather has not been a major factor anywhere. That's why I keep asking you, and you say maybe NFL games?
Either. Nope.
I mean, maybe one weekend we saw.
One weekend it rained like hell in Chicago.
Yep. Yeah, that was like really early. That was
that was way
the first game of the season.
Yeah,
second game of the season. Bears 49ers. That was what it was.
But that's what Bears beat them.
Yeah,
that's right. And everybody said drive field. That's right. But anyway, the weather hasn't been. a major factor, and I don't see it this week as being a major factor. But anyway, I'm taking the Volunteers a slight.
We're on the Vols there. All right, Luke's Notre Dame Fighting Irish visit the Navy Midshipmen. Notre Dame minus 16.5 on the road. Open 17 down to 16.5. Total 41.5. Man, it's tough to play Navy games over, but that's a low total. I think Notre Dame might score 40 themselves in this game.
I think after that big win against Clemson,
letdown spot.
No, I think Notre Dame's just going to keep it rolling, and they'll cover the 16.
Well, this should sum up what the depth of college football is now. But there's people still making a case like they could get in the playoff. Notre Dame, like, come on, how many losses? They have 3 losses. Yeah.
And losses to not good teams.
And 2 of them were at home, right?
Marshall and Stanford.
Yeah,
at home.
Stanford's last place in the Pac-12, and Marshall's last in their own division.
Yeah,
and Conference USA.
Who was the other team they lost to? Did they have 3?
Cal.
Yeah,
no.
No.
Somebody decent.
Yeah, good team. Jeez. Oh my goodness.
Ohio State first game.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And then
it's been so long.
You can't get in the playoff.
I mean, there's people saying like, "Oh, they're lucky it's not a 16."
Listen, they still got to play USC yet. Yes. They got to play USC. So that's
I do go with Notre Dame.
I don't know. I'm just the Irish. They're perplexing to me.
Oh, very. I like Clemson last week, and I didn't see a play, and they said Notre Dame played well
from the beginning of the game.
That's
Clemson
what I hear.
Was not in it. So, all right, let's move on to another hot team, UConn Huskies. You guys got any thoughts here? This team has played really well. Jim Mora Jr.
5-5.
Done an awesome job. They're starting to take sharp money now. They're taking money. There's a lot of money on the under. UConn and under seems to be a good parlay these days. What do you guys got any thoughts on that game as they host Liberty minus 14.5? Liberty is on the road.
I like Connecticut. I like Connecticut getting the points.
Get that 2 touchdowns in the hook and take Connecticut.
Yeah, I like Connecticut. Yep. I who did they play last week?
UMass, right?
UMass, that's correct.
Yep.
Yeah, UMass. They ended up covering.
Yeah, they did.
They had
started out a little rocky.
They did.
A couple
in the
big
fourth
plays,
quarter, they pulled away.
They dug in, and they're playing well. So, all right, let's move on. Indiana at Ohio State, and this is just every week. 40.5 Ohio State at home. They play every game at home. Total 58. Again, name their score. They'll probably be mad because everybody said how they didn't play well last week, and they got all upset and they cry. Oh, it was windy. And okay, right. If you're 40 points better, you should just beat Northwestern no matter what you needed to do. So anyway, struggles for them. I don't know how good they are, but
they'll probably come out this week and score 60.
I would imagine.
Yeah,
so.
I would probably play Ohio State this week. After last week in Northwestern at home, no weather issues. I look for them to really. That's probably a pretty good play for me. I'd say.
Yep, I'd agree. Chris, any closing thoughts on that?
No, I would think
Ohio State, Ohio State.
There's so many bad teams.
Yeah, the Big Ten is just a horrible league.
It's a bad league.
All right, Pitt, get close to home here. The Pitt Panthers on the road at Virginia. Pitt -4, total 40.5. Public all over Pitt, which is interesting. I would definitely play Virginia here, and if I can get more than a field goal, I will be taking the Cavaliers. I think they'll probably win this game. What do you guys think?
I don't trust Pitt on the road with Pat Narduzzi.
No.
I would go with the Cavaliers getting.
Yep. It's a bad game.
It's a bad game. The home team's only 1-5 against the spread the last 6 games, so that doesn't bode well
historical rivalry
for Virginia. But boy, that's going to be that's going to be a really difficult game to watch.
I don't know what kind of offense Virginia got, but I saw they held Syracuse 145 yards.
Yeah. Virginia's not so good on offense right now. Their offensive line's really, really
that might be a good underplay.
Could be.
That might be.
Keep an eye on the weather that day.
That might be a decent underplay right there.
Right?
Yeah, low total.
Yes,
very low total.
That might be a good underplay.
All right, let's move on to another great ACC game. Virginia Tech visits Duke. Duke -9.5, total 49.5. Sharp money coming in on the under so far in this game. I think that's a good bet. I think Virginia Tech will struggle to score.
I agree.
Duke's decent on offense. I think they'll definitely cover this 9.5. I'm actually surprised it's not a little higher. Virginia Tech's just so bad. And by the way, I can check off a winner as Virginia Tech falling to 2-7. They are now guaranteed to be under their 6.5 win total at the beginning of the year. So I got myself
Boy,
a star.
That was an easy one.
And Coach, you now are in a push level with UCLA. You can't do any worse.
And I got a winnable game this week with Arizona State.
So I think you can get it done this week.
I hope Lauren Bettor comes back online.
Yes,
I hope she didn't disappear on me because I want my Fresno State T-shirt.
Yeah, Lauren, if you're out there, Coach is going to be giving you his address here soon.
Yes,
send that T-shirt and stay in touch.
You were on the wrong side of that one, girl.
Yeah, but anyway,
I was reading. They said the last 2 times Duke favored against Virginia Tech when hosted them, they lost 17-16 and 31-14. Not that that's related to anything today, but it said in 2014 they lost 17, and in 2018 they lost 31-14. I mean,
don't you always
play stock?
Yeah, don't you always find it amazing? They have all these cool trends, and a lot of them do ring true, but like they've had like 5 different coaches, they've had thousands of different players, and it's just like how true does that happen?
Somebody look at that stat and say, well, the last 2 times they were favored and hosted, they lost, so maybe I'll take them again this year.
Yeah,
so this is 4 years.
Now, I mean, people do that when you're desperate and you're looking for trends. You're gonna try to find.
You'll ask the guy in the line, the guy in front of you at the grocery line.
Yeah.
Who you like?
Yeah.
Snod Dog usually gives me his.
I'm gonna have to start getting his picks and give them out on.
He says anytime the academies play, bet them under in the first half. In the first half, always.
That's a Snod Dog special trend right there.
He had to lose. He had Providence last night in hoops, though. They won by 1.
Yep. All right, let's move on back to the Big Ten. Rutgers visiting Michigan State. The Spartans -10. The total 40.5. Chris, don't worry. In a few games, this will seem like a great game as we get further down to the Big Ten card. Michigan State opened 12.5. This is down to 10. Some of the pros on Rutgers here. I'd be tempted to take Rutgers too if I could get more than 10.5 or 10.5 or more. Not wild about Michigan State, Coach. I don't think you are either.
No, but they killed me. They killed me last week. That's for sure.
They did.
I mean, they really they surprised me. I thought Illinois would beat them for sure.
Luke called Illinois frauds, and he was right. Jeez,
I like this game under the total.
You know what, Mark? I just looked at that and thought the same thing. 40. What is it? 40.5.
40. I like that game under the total.
That's not even the lowest total this week in the Big Ten. So. Ooh, get excited for that. Chris, so you're on the under. All right, let's go to Morgantown, Oklahoma, visiting the Mountaineers. Oklahoma -8 on the road. The total 66.5. I really like the Mountaineers in this game. I think they got a chance to win.
I do too. I don't think they've packed it in. People are really on Neil Brown heavy.
It's a big game for them a little
bit. They could still be bowl. They could still make a bowl if they can win out. I mean, they're 3-6. They could end 6-6, and they're really decently winnable games.
Yeah.
They've got Oklahoma, Kansas State, and Oklahoma State.
Yeah,
so they could win. They've got 2 at home, and then they end with the season at Kansas State. At Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
So I like the Mountaineers getting the points this week. I do.
Chris?
Yeah, I'll take that. But I don't think they'll win. I think they'll lose it close. But they'll
probably right.
They'll figure out a way to lose the game. I mean, I'd like to see them win. But I'm just really interested to see how that – when you talk about all the heat on Neil Brown, they're 3-6. How when they're talking about they were going to fire him by this week or whatever. I don't
know.
So either they rally around him or they've just tuned him out. I don't know. But
yep.
We'll see.
All right. Well, let's move on. LSU at Arkansas. LSU -3 on the road. Total 63.5. Moved up a little bit total wise from 62 up to actually about 64.5 at some spots now. Public getting behind LSU. Once more, they're coming off a big win over Alabama at home. Arkansas has been a team I haven't been impressed with. I don't love LSU in this spot either. I'll be sitting this game out.
I like the dog here. I like the dog at home. LSU coming off that massive win.
Right.
Going on the road. I like Arkansas. Actually, I like them a lot.
Okay, Chris, any thoughts?
Same reason, Coach. Well, not the same reason, but I'm going to go with Arkansas as well, and that's only because I detest Brian Kelly. So
you sound like Luke and Jeff.
I just think he's a jackass. But anyway,
fair enough.
So,
right. Matt, you got a feel on that game?
No, I'll be sitting. I think the play is probably Arkansas, but I don't like their quarterback, that Jefferson. People love him. I think he's awful. I would be passing on that game probably. Maybe over. Could get sloppy, and I I think both teams could maybe score some points. All right, back to the Big Ten. Purdue at Illinois. Another exciting matchup here. Illinois minus 6.5. The total 44.5, down from the opener of 46.5. Illinois getting some play now after their disappointment last week. I don't see how you don't take Purdue here, but Illinois, the spot says Illinois bounces back, but I don't love them covering 6.5. What do you guys say?
Purdue's let me down all year. They have. I thought they were going to be very good. I really did. I touted them as being making a run at that side of the that side of the division. I don't like them at all anymore. Yep. But Illinois laid an egg on me last week, but I'm gonna come back and play Illinois.
Yeah, no, I would do that. They've covered 3 straight in this series. They're at home.
Okay.
I don't know much about either team, but
that
home crowd at Illinois, when they get them people rocking, it's.
You sound like Jarrett there.
Yeah, huge. All right, let's go. Let's jump to the SEC. Vanderbilt visiting Kentucky. Kentucky minus 17.5. The total 48. Some money shown on the under right now. I like Kentucky in this game.
You like Kentucky. You've been touting Kentucky all year.
I think they're looking for games that in a game like this, I think they'll dominate Vanderbilt from a defensive standpoint. I think they'll win pretty easily. What do you guys say?
I smell Kentucky in a blowout. Like 38-7.
I could use that.
Something like that.
That'd be nice to see for me. All right, let's turn the page, getting down to the 3:30 kicks. Boy, I'm looking at the game. Oh, bad. Nebraska and Michigan. There we go. Michigan minus 29. The total 49. Michigan can probably name the score here. Nebraska is a mess, as Chris alluded to, in basketball and football. I'd probably lay it with Michigan if I had to, but probably sitting this game out. Thoughts, guys?
I'd play Michigan here too. I just think it'll be a bad day for Nebraska at Michigan. So I'll play Michigan.
All right, let's drop down to the ACC. My Miami Hurricanes, maybe the worst team in college football. They will visit Georgia Tech.
Now that ought to be a dandy.
-1, the Yellow Jackets are. They're laying points against Miami. That's really a low point. I thought the Al Golden years were bad. This is just as bad. But I knew they were going to be really, really bad this year. I think they'll turn it around. Cristobal's done a good job recruiting. So Georgia Tech -1, total 44.5. I think this is a dead under game.
I'm with you.
I was
going to say the same thing.
Chris?
I like the game under.
Sometimes you guys go with the same. I'm going to go opposite, and there'll be it's going to go over.
Okay.
It's going to go over.
Chris says over.
I usually always go with what you guys say, but
because we know a lot.
Right.
All right.
Right.
Back to the Big Ten we go, the exciting Big Ten. Northwestern visiting Minnesota. This has to get the blood flowing. 17.5, the Gophers are at home. The total 40.5, another 40.5 in the Big Ten. Money showing on the under. What a surprise, guys.
Yeah.
My Gophers have let me down like coaches Boilermakers have let him down. It's been a disappointing year. Thought they'd be better. Still think they might flex their muscles here and beat up on Northwestern.
I like them.
We'll see.
I like them this week.
What do you say?
I'm going to take Northwestern.
Okay.
Getting 17.
After that powerful showing last week.
Yeah.
Hung with the big boys.
They lost what? Was it
21-14? 21-14. Wasn't it 21-14?
No, they got beat by 2 touchdowns.
Oh, was it 21-7?
Yeah, I think 21. Okay. Yeah, they never scored again.
Oh, it was 14-7 in the fourth.
Yeah, they never scored again.
Yeah. All right, and then the game of the week in the Big Ten, as it keeps getting worse.
God,
Wisconsin visiting Iowa. Wisconsin is now a 1.5 point favorite on the road. The total a whopping 35. Iowa did open a 1 point favorite at home here. I would have to take Iowa in this game. Coach and I both were on Maryland last week at Wisconsin. I think Wisconsin played an abnormally good game, but maybe Jim Leonard's a good coach. Maybe he's able to relate to these guys better than what they had with Paul Chryst. I would lean Iowa here, but that's like a gag me play right there. Any thoughts?
Probably lean to the under. I know it's really, really low, but I don't see it. I don't see many points being scored here. I'd play the under.
If you can get 35 in the hook, take it under.
Yeah.
Could be big. Chris, where are you going to be?
I'll go with the road team.
Be sure you're tuned in at FS1 at 3:30 for that game. That will be the game to catch your nap during.
They have their lead announced team for that team.
Yes. That should be the siesta game of the week. Enjoy your slumber as you watch that one. All right, let's go to Arizona State and Washington State. Washington State minus 7.5 at home. The total 61. This opened to 55.5. Lots of money showing on the over in this game. So Chris is probably going to bet it over.
Yes, it's definitely going over.
I would say that I would lean to the over too,
All
but
right.
don't have a strong play on this game.
That's okay.
All right.
We might have to make that our play with our money in the over in that. In that game,
hey guys,
it might be where the money is.
Yes.
Woo!
All right, and let's go down to Boston College at NC State. NC State minus 19.5. The total 42 even. Boston College and other teams disappointed the hell out of me this year. I'd love to play them plus 3 touchdowns if it gets there, but I don't know if I have any more confidence left in them. I don't love NC State at all. What do you guys think here?
I'm playing NC State here. Okay. In a big way. I think they roll. Now I think NC State's pretty good. I know you guys don't like them. I mean, they're 7-2. I mean, they're right there. I like them big in this game.
They usually beat the teams they're supposed to. So, yep. Chris, any thoughts?
Well, I'm going to do a George Kettlewell bet. I'm just going to take North Carolina State on the money line.
Yeah, I like it.
-12.
Yeah, jeez. Yeah, I'd hope that one would come in. All right, next game.
I didn't have a few.
You'll win a quarter.
Yeah. Back to the Big Ten. One of the more exciting games in the Big Ten this week. Maryland visiting Penn State. Penn State minus 10, the total 59. Maryland looking to bounce back after a terrible performance last week. Penn State getting a lot of public play right now. I will be on Maryland here. I want Maryland again. I'm going to give them another try. Hopefully I can get 10.5 or more. Coach, what do you think? You jumping back on the Terps?
Yes, and I'll probably regret it, but I'm back on the Terps.
All right, Chris.
I'm going opposite of you guys. I'm going to take Penn State.
All right, you're a big James Franklin guy, so yeah.
No, I mean, if you weren't betting on it, I would definitely want Maryland.
Right. I understood. Yep. All right, Clemson hosting Louisville. Clemson minus 7, total 51.5. Clemson looking to bounce back after a bad performance at Notre Dame. Notre Dame played well. Clemson played awful. I would lean Clemson here. This is the kind of game where they don't have to be great. Louisville's not very good on the road, so I'll be taking Clemson. Thoughts?
Go Tigers.
I like this game under.
Okay.
Under the total.
I see that for sure. Okay. All right, SEC, Alabama visiting Ole Miss. Alabama 11.5 on the road, total 63.5. Bama, another team coming off of a tough times when they lose 2 games in the regular season already. They will renew a pretty good rivalry here with Ole Miss. They've played some close games over the years. I don't know. I don't feel great about either way here. I think Alabama maybe is due to win a game, but they have not covered on the road in so long. I couldn't take them, so I'll be sitting this one out. What do you think, guys?
I'd take it. Ole Miss catching the points here. I think they may. I think they may cover that. What is it now?
11.5.
That's what I thought.
Run around 12, 11.
Yeah, I like Ole Miss. I like Ole Miss here.
Okay, Chris.
Yeah, I'll take Ole Miss as well, and I think that I think it'll stay under the 63.5.
Okay, yeah, that's an area. Yeah, because Ole Miss actually has improved defensively. Alabama. They're supposed to be better on defense, but they haven't been in the big games. But I'm not sure Ole Miss has the offense to make them hurt too bad, but we'll see. All right, Big 12 action. Iowa State visiting Say's Oklahoma State Cowboys. Iowa State now minus 1.5 on the road. The total 48.5 down from the opener of 50. Some money showing on the under. I think Say's team may have packed it in for the season. What do we think?
After that ass whooping last week. Jeez, oh Pete. Yeah. Well, that's 2 weeks in a row. 2 weeks in a row.
They humiliated us in our wallets 2 weeks ago, and then last week they just got humiliated by Kansas.
Iowa State's got the best defense in the Big 12.
Maybe under's the play.
I like the under there somewhat.
Yep. Sharp guys on it already. Chris, what are you thinking?
I think Iowa State, with carrying that momentum into Oklahoma State with that big win over the Mountaineers, I'll give the 1.5.
It's huge. All right, let's see. Where are we going?
Are we going to our North Texas?
Green?
Sorry,
right up above. I don't want to neglect the
I like him.
Green.
I
North
like
Texas
him.
at
Catching
UAB.
6.
Minus 6 on the road.
Getting 6.
Yeah, they're sorry. UTSA. Oh, I skipped that. Jeez, I'm a mess. North Texas Mean Green at UAB. Good Lord. UAB minus 6 at home as our Mean Green are on the road. The total 57.5. Coach likes the Mean Green. I'll be kind of on the Mean Green. Some of the pros already on UAB. I don't know. That should be a good game, I think.
We're still trying to find out how Jake Roberts ran 72 yards with a pass and didn't score.
Yeah.
We're still trying to get. We might need to call Jake, and get the information there.
What would be funny, like it was not funny, but like if say if it was a catch and run and somebody caught him from behind and he got knocked out at the one.
Yeah,
like how close
there's a defensive lineman calling.
No,
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to tell him. We heard it was a D tackle.
Was their heaviest guy.
Right. Guy was 380. Yeah. All right. So we're on the mean green there as always. Mean green. We bleed mean green.
Defense scares me though. They
UAB's well coached. They're pretty
score
good.
A lot of points.
Yes.
All right, back to the Big 12. Oh, no, I'm skipping that. We already did that one. South Carolina, SEC at Florida. This used to be a big game, kind of, but it's really lost its luster. Florida minus 7.5 at home, the total 59. I don't love either one of these teams. I'd probably take the points with South Carolina. What do you guys think?
I like it over. I'm playing this game over.
Coach on the over. Chris?
I'd take Florida to cover the 7.5.
Okay. All right, Big 12 action, Kansas. Coaches Jayhawks at Texas Tech.
Off
Texas
another
Tech.
big win last week.
Yeah, I thought they were done, and they bounced back. They showed me. Texas Tech minus 3.5. The total 63.5 now, down from 65 through 64. I don't know. It's hard to go against the Jayhawks. They're catching points here. Texas Tech's kind of losing some steam, I think.
I think there's going to be some points in this game.
Yeah.
I think there's an up and down the field in this one.
Yep, and it's weird. It's going down. The line's going down, so jump on it. Maybe get a better number.
The team that has the ball last going to win, but it's going to be a high-scoring game.
Agreed. All right, staying in the Big 12, Kansas State visits Baylor. Baylor minus 2.5, total 53. I'm hoping my Bears can get this victory for me, as I need, let's see. They have 6 wins right now, and I need them to win 2 more. So I'm going to definitely need this game. What do you guys think here? Do they have a shot?
Boy, that's a tough one. That's a tough number there.
Good team.
K-State's good, but I think Baylor at home gets the cover here. I'm pulling for you to.
Chris, what do you say?
I'll go with what Coach says. I don't really have a feel, so we'll go with the Bears.
All right, let's go across the country to Duck territory. Washington visiting Oregon. Oregon minus 13, the total 72.5, actually up to 73. A lot of money showing on the over. Money showing on Oregon. Oregon's been pretty good, guys, since they lost to Georgia back in week 1. I don't love Washington on the road here. I'd be tempted to take Oregon if I get less than the 2 scores. What do you say?
I'm probably with you there. I think I like Oregon.
They're playing well.
Yes.
Bo Nix, who would have known?
Jesus.
Yeah. Chris, any thoughts?
I definitely like Oregon here.
Okay.
I think they're playing pretty well.
All right.
Washington.
They are. All right, Georgia back on the road this week after an impressive performance. Last week they visit Mike Leach in Mississippi State. Georgia minus 16.5, the total 53. Public showing on Georgia, probably get up over 17, I would imagine. I don't know. This is a bad spot for Georgia, but they seem kind of invulnerable to that kind of stuff. If they take the game serious, they'll hammer Mississippi State, I think. But we'll see. What do you guys say?
I don't know. I was going to take Mississippi State, but then I thought, you know what? That Mike Leach, that him down there.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the guy,
Me
but
too.
I don't think you're right. Georgia doesn't.
Yeah, like if they want to win that game easily, they'll crush them.
Right.
But I don't know.
So,
Coach?
I'd say that.
I think Georgia. I play Georgia.
Yep. All right. Another SEC game. Texas A&M, who's really a mess, visiting Auburn, who now has Cadillac Williams for the second week as their interim head coach. Cadillac Williams.
Cadillac?
Yeah. Yep. Auburn minus 2 at home. The total 49. I like Auburn here. I think Cadillac gets his first win.
Go with it.
A&M, a disaster.
Well, they have 6 losses now. A&M, or at least 5.
At least 5.
I got it right here. Yeah, A&M is 3. A&M's 3 and 6.
Yeah,
A&M's 3 and 6.
You see, they're losing a couple guys that decommitted.
They're going to lose a bunch.
Yep.
So these guys, just because you get all the 5 stars like we talked about, doesn't make you good. All right, ACC, North Carolina visiting Wake Forest. Coaches Demon Deacons struggling lately.
Yeah.
Demon Deacons minus 3.5, the total 77. I found this interesting.
77.
Wake Forest has committed 11 turnovers the past 2 weeks. They had 8 against Louisville last week, and then they had 3 this past week against NC State. In the last 6 quarters of football, they've turned over 11 times. Sam Hartman has thrown 6 interceptions and fumbled 3 times during that span. That's
unbelievable.
Horrible.
God.
He's a Heisman contender.
He no longer.
I do like Wake Forest in this game, though. I think they bounce back.
I'm playing it over, even though it's 77.
Yeah, right.
Chris is stunned. I like it.
Yeah. Jeez. Yep. All right. Texas Christian, TCU.
Wow.
Undefeated.
No
and
respect
catching
here.
7
No respect.
on the road at Texas. Texas -7.
I'm playing
total
TCU.
64.5.
I don't care.
The TCU, the public is all over TCU, so be aware of that.
I know.
But, yeah, it seems like a lot of points. So,
Yep.
Chris, you on the Horned Frogs? Are you taking the 7?
No,
or?
I'm doing Longhorns.
Oh, hook 'em horns.
Yeah,
you and Bay. All right.
Bay's going to be happy.
Okay. All right. Florida State at Syracuse. Syracuse, geez, they've kind of fallen apart. Florida State -6.5 on the road. Total 51. I like Syracuse in this game. I think they'll bounce back. And Babers will get a big win. Florida State, they beat Miami last week. It's like a bye week, sadly. But, Coach, what do you say in this game?
Syracuse, go Orange.
All right. Cal on the road at Oregon State. My Beavers, -13.5. Total 49. I like the Beavers here, but 13.5's a lot. Cal's scrappy. Probably sit this one out. Any thoughts on this one, guys?
No. I'm past this one, too.
Chris?
Cal.
Okay.
Getting 13.5.
All right.
I'm not sure why. But
No, that's all right. I think that's not a bad bet. I have Oregon State. It's kind of a team that I've been backing. So, anyway, staying in the Pac-12, Stanford visiting Utah. Utah -24. The total 53.5. Utah is pretty good here. I think they win this game easily if they choose to show up. Stanford, I don't know how they beat Notre Dame. I still won't figure it out.
It's amazing.
I'll be on Utah here, I think. Don't see any way around it, or way I'm taking Stanford. What do you guys say?
I'll go with Utah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd play Utah here.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, and rounding it out, coaches, UCLA Bruins.
Let's go.
Hosting the Arizona Wildcats, UCLA -19.5. The total, 77.5. Coach, I think your guys named the score here, but Arizona is a little bit better. I wouldn't want that number to get much above 20 if I was going to play UCLA, but I think they can still win the game for you and get you over your season win total.
Yeah, I'm looking at UCLA's schedule. They have Arizona. Let's see, who do they have? I just wanted to see who they have left. Okay, they have Arizona. Okay, USC is next week.
Okay,
so that Arizona might not be a bad play there.
Yep.
USC in the headlights.
Yep.
I mean, that's going to be that game could have
playoff
absolutely,
and it also will be Pac-12 title implications.
Yes,
with the winner of that probably playing Oregon.
Yes, so that might not be a bad place to play Arizona right there.
Chris, thoughts?
I think that total it's going to go. It'll stay under the 77.
I agree with you.
That's a big.
Yeah, I think that's a high total. Yep.
Okay.
All right. Well, that concludes the college card here on Bettor's Last Stand. We're going to take a quick break, and we are going to come back and fire through this beautiful pro card in Week 10. We'll be right back.
This show is for informational and entertainment purposes only. All wagering activity should only be conducted by those 21 years of age or older and within the confines of federal, state, and local law. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, contact 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537.
All right, welcome back into Bettor's Last Stand. We're joined, as usual, by Luke Duplaga from Generations. He coming off a 1-1 week. His boy Jimbo Fisher, as we were just joking with him before we started recording here, let him down with Texas A&M's continuing to struggle. Luke, tough week for you in many ways. The Raiders let one get away again. Sorry there. Where are we going this week? We staying in college, or are we going to jump over to pro, or are you going to split it up?
Staying in college.
Okay. Well, where are we going?
He hates the NFL. So join the crowd.
Join the crowd, buddy.
Let's go. Ole Miss plus 11.5. That's, I think, your line's different, Matt. What's yours?
Yeah, I think it was 11.5. Yep, we just talked about that. It was 11.5. I saw a few 12s out there, but mostly 11.5. Yep.
I like him too, buddy.
Ole Miss is well rested, and Alabama is just, they got to be beating up the SEC conference.
Okay, Ole Miss plus 11. All right. 11.5.
LSU -3. I think that line's so low because it's a rivalry game, Golden Boot game. I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, no, that's usually, it used to be a big rivalry. I don't know about it now with with Arkansas not being so good.
All right, so you're taking LSU to come off of that huge win, go on the road to Arkansas and cover the 3, huh?
Oh yeah.
Okay, and Ole Miss, you think they're going to be all right at home against Bama? You don't think Bama will flex their muscles? You think Ole Miss has enough for them?
Yeah, I love Lane Kiffin. I love Lane. He's a good coach.
All right, so we're going Ole Miss plus 11.5. Is that what we got it?
Yep.
11.5. LSU -3. Luke coming in with a 14-6 record. Impressive, to say the least. Anything new going on at Generations as we start to wind down football and approach the holidays?
Same old stuff. We need to change up. We might do a little breakfast all day Monday. I don't know if you would give me feedback on that. But we might do that, a little change up. The same old specials. Wings, pierogies all day Sunday. Happy hour all day Sunday. Buckets of beer, $16 buckets for 16-ounce cans, all football games. It's a hell of a deal of how beer.
Yes,
it is. It is a great deal.
Other than that, yeah, we're still kicking and wheeling, baby. Still rocking it.
Hey, what about the Raiders this week? They get Jeff Saturday and the dangerous Colts here.
About the Raiders, all right?
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah, all right.
I'm not giving. If they win this week, we can talk about Jeff Saturday's dumb comment.
All right. Well, Luke, thanks again for joining us as always. We will talk to you next week, and good luck with your picks.
All right, boys. Go
All right.
room.
Later.
Yes, sir.
See ya.
Thank you. All right, that was Luke Duplaga joining us as usual. He's going all SEC this week, so interesting games there. Again, Ole Miss plus the points against Bama and LSU, minus the points against Arkansas.
All right.
So good matchups there, games of intrigue. We'll see how he does. Expecting to bounce back. He's been riding pretty hot, doing a lot better than we have probably on the season. All right, let's get through this NFL card here, Chris. I know you're really excited. I don't think you guys have much thoughts on the Thursday night game, which will be after this is even out, so it won't really matter.
That's the NFL version of a Big Ten game.
Yes. Atlanta, Carolina, I'd probably take the Falcons, especially if Mayfield plays for Carolina. They're horrible. All right, let's go to Germany, Munich, as the Seahawks take on Cooley's Bucks. The Bucks minus 2.5, the total 44.5, total coming down a little bit. I heard some bookmakers talking about this. This is one of those games where on your power ratings, you definitely have Seattle rated better than Tampa based on the way they performed this year, but you have to apply logic and realize that you don't want the public getting Tampa plus points with Tom Brady, so they have to open them a small favorite. I think people are going to start betting the Seahawks. I think you'll see a lot of public money on the Seahawks. I'll be on Tampa. I don't love the bet, but I think it makes sense. What do you guys say?
I'm going to go with Tampa. I just think that they're the better team. Although, I keep waiting for Geno Smith to just have a
come back there.
Yeah,
he almost had that bad interception, but
and he keeps proving me wrong, and probably a hell of a lot of other people. But I don't know. This one's in Germany. I'm going to go with Tampa.
Yep, at Bayern Munich.
I'm playing Seattle.
Okay, Coach will be on the dog. Hopefully, he can get around 3. It may go up, but I'm seeing more money on Seattle right now, so maybe it doesn't. All right, let's go to 1 o'clock hour, a big showdown in the NFC North. The Lions visiting the Bears. The Bears minus 2.5. It makes me laugh that they're favored, but they have to be. Total 48.5, showing on the over. I think the over is absolutely the play here. The Bears have figured out a way to use Justin Fields as another running back, and they're scoring a lot of points, and they're giving up a lot of points. They traded away all their best defensive players. I like over big here, guys. What do you say?
Oh, okay, Matt, playing the over. I like Detroit.
Okay.
I like Detroit to get 2 in a row.
I think they can win. So, yep.
I'm going to take the Bears.
Okay, Chris.
I just do not trust Jared Goff on the road.
Well, tough to pick who to trust in that game.
Right.
Across the board. All right, another NFC North opponent on the road. This game turned upside down with the news that Josh Allen is expected to probably not play here for the Bills as they host the Vikings. Bills minus 5, total 45.5. This thing opened 9.5, obviously, with Josh Allen questionable, went to 5, now down to 3.5. This will just be a wait and see, obviously, for me. I still think the Bills may be able to win the game if it got below a field goal. Case Keenum, solid backup, playing against his old team. Kirk Cousins on the road, but it is a 1 o'clock game, so who knows? Maybe under is the play here. What do you guys say?
Well, so Keenum's the Bills' backup.
Yes.
I just don't. I think the Bills obviously it couldn't win the game, but I don't think they have much of a running game, and if they have to rely on their run,
Josh Allen is their running game.
Yes, right. He's got to be their leading rusher.
Yes, by far.
But would you say it'd be 3.5, maybe? Or is it?
Yeah, I think it's 3.5 right now. It may go down a little bit lower. I'd imagine to stick around 3 because I think people will still think the Bills are 3 points better at home.
Yeah, I'll go with Chet's Vikings.
All right. Ooh, all right. Okay. Chris's Brownies on the road at Miami here at a 1 o'clock game on CBS. Miami Dolphins minus 3.5, the total 48.5. This opened Dolphins minus 5.5. And is down to minus 3.5, which is interesting because public play is all over the Dolphins. Like it's the ticket count here is like 90 to 10% Dolphin tickets versus Browns.
Oh, wow!
I absolutely love the Browns in this spot. I think they're going to win the game. I think they'll cover for sure. Obviously, catching 3.5. I think the Dolphins are going to be a public team that people are going to love, but their defense isn't very good. And if the Browns can get some stops and get to Tua, I think they'll force turnovers and I think they'll win. Chris, what do you say?
I'm right there with you. I hope that holds true because I think that the Browns can score points. That's never, even though they've had Jacoby.
It's not been a quarterback problem.
They've scored points, and I just worry about that.
They should be healthy coming out of the bye. Their defense should be the healthiest it's been all season. So.
And in that secondary, and that Joe Woods, the defensive coordinator, they've been on his ass all year, but the defense has gotten
They
better.
played good the last game, and then they had a week off.
But
so.
just trying to contain, who is it, Waddle and
Tyreek. I mean, that's not going to be easy, but if they can get to Tua, he's shown he can make mistakes. So, Coach, what do you say?
Over, plenty over.
I
points,
like that a lot.
Points.
I think you're right there. The Dolphins are an over team, and Cleveland can score. They definitely can, and their roster is very good. All right, Houston visiting the Giants. The Giants minus 6.5. Total 41. Actually, that's down to 4.5 now. It opened 5.5, went up to 6.5, now down to 4.5. Money showing on the over as well. I'd be tempted to take the Texans to cover the game, but on the Abby sheet, I'd probably take the Giants. I think they'll win. What do you guys say?
I'm going to go with the under. I don't think there'll be a whole lot of points in this game.
Yeah.
And I'm playing the Giants. I like the Giants. I keep doubting the Giants, and they keep winning.
And they're off a bye week as well.
What are they, 6-2?
Yeah.
6-2 ahead. Jeez Louise.
NFC East.
And they can run the football with Barkley's running well. I mean, so that
Jones
takes a lot of right.
Brian Daboll's done a good job utilizing him. So
playing the Giants.
All right, let's go to hometown team. Most people's hometown team. The Steelers hosting the New Orleans Saints. The Saints minus 2.5 on the road. The total 40. I'm baffled that the Saints are favored in this game.
Crazy.
Yeah. I can't believe it. I know the Steelers are bad, and no one enjoys it more than me.
I'm playing the Steelers.
Love the Steelers in this game.
So do I.
I would put a parlay together right now, the Steelers and the Browns money lines.
I love the
both
Steelers.
of them. I think they'll both win.
Love the Steelers.
Easily. I think the Steelers will beat them by at least a touchdown.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, it's unanimous. We're on the black and gold. That might be Busch Light.
Even when you gave me the sheet, Matt, I thought,
that might be our Busch Light play to bounce back.
Yes.
Could be. Steelers did us right in week 1 against the Bengals.
They did.
And if I like them, and Chris likes them, then there's trouble. All right, Denver visiting coaches, Tennessee Titans. Coach, you've been hot on this team all year. They lost a tight one last week, but they played well. Titans minus 3 at home, the total 39. Boy, I think the Titans are so much better than Denver. They've been running the ball. I would bet against them.
Titans
on the
Titans.
Loss,
and I don't trust. I think Denver was fortunate to have won in London. They didn't play very well in that game. I don't like the Broncos at all.
Well.
Yep, coaching advantage huge too. Hackett versus Vrabel. Vrabel just blows him out of the water. So Titans. All right, Jacksonville says Jags on the road at Kansas City. Kansas City minus 9.5. The total 50.5. Hard to bet. KC minus 9.5, but man, they're good. They're so
like
potent
Jacksonville.
on offense. I would lean to Jacksonville if I could get to 10 from a betting standpoint. All right, all on the Jags. All right, on to the Colts and the Raiders. Luke Duplaga's Raiders. This is
these teams both suck.
Yeah, the Raiders a mess. The Colts a mess. Raiders minus 6 right now.
Why do they make that
3.5.
game 4? Well, that's Las Vegas.
42.5 is the total. Money shown on the Raiders only because the Colts have a guy that's never coached. I'm on the contrary on this thing. I know everybody's just crushing them for hiring a guy with no experience, but what about all these guys that have experience that suck? I mean, he can't be much worse than some of them.
Right.
So let them have a chance. I mean, I'll give anybody a chance. So I would lean the Colts here. If I can get 6, I'll take the Colts. Don't love it, but
I'm playing the under. I like the under.
Probably a good bet.
Yeah, they're 1-8 on unders. I can't see them scoring much. I think 42.5 is just a little bit too much.
Agreed. Chris, what do you say?
I'm going with the Raiders.
Okay.
Yep.
Al Davis.
No. I want the Colts.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Colts. All right. Colts plus the points.
I just think they might rally around Jeff
I think they will. I think they'll play hard.
He was a center or what?
I expect a good effort out of them. I don't know if it would be good enough. Their quarterback play's been so bad.
But as long as they lose by less than 6.
Yep. And I expect that line may go up. All right, Rams hosting the Cardinals in the division battle. Second time they played this year. The Rams -3, total 43.5. McVay absolutely owns Kingsbury. It's as simple as that for me. They've shown no signs of improvement. The Rams get back on track this week. Although I did just see Matthew Stafford questionable in this game, so not that it even matters. He's horrible. I will take the Rams no matter what I think in this game. I think the Cardinals are just a sinking ship. What do you guys say?
But I think the Rams are a mess, too. They just don't look.
Yeah. They let that game get away. They should have won last night.
I don't know. This is a tough one.
Kingsbury had never beat McVay, so that'll break the tie for me.
Well, you know what? Then it's bound to happen sometime, so I'll take Kingsbury.
All right.
Yeah. It's like you're right.
You're probably right,
Rams
Chris.
I think they're awful.
Awful.
How they win the Super Bowl?
It's amazing to me.
Yep. All right, and then our final 4 o'clock game, the game that everyone in the world will be forced to watch. Green Bay hosting Dallas. Dallas -5 on the road. The total 43. This opened Dallas -3. Now up to 5. Dallas off the bye week. Mike McCarthy returns to Green Bay. Public on Dallas. Everyone thinks Green Bay sucks. Everyone's all over Aaron Rodgers. They think he's the worst quarterback ever. People are actually suggesting he should get benched, which is just laughable.
That's ludicrous.
I would lean Green Bay in this spot. Still not a big backer of Dallas. I'm waiting for Mike McCarthy to fall apart, but it's hard to bet Green Bay, so I'll probably pass.
Painful to watch.
Yeah, they are.
Green Bay's painful to watch. They're just awful.
Yeah, and they lost their best defensive player.
They're awful.
Season, too,
I don't. But they look so easy to play Dallas. I'd probably play Green Bay at tick there.
Yep. Everybody says Dallas.
I think that the game's going to stay under the 43.
That could be, Chris.
All right.
I mean,
Green Bay's had to play low-scoring games, which is surprising. But with their inexperience on offense, Aaron Jones went out of the game injured last week. Bakhtiari hasn't played in 3 years. Guy's in for a series. He should just retire. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see. I'm sure that'll be whoever Fox's number 1 crew is now. He used to be Buck and Caitlin, but they're gone, thank God.
Yeah,
all right. I don't even know who they're talking. Kevin Burkhardt maybe and Greg Olson. I don't know if that's the top one or not, or I don't know. All right, we'll see. Stay tuned to Fox 425 for that. All right, our last game on Sunday, the Chargers visiting the 49ers. Brad's 49ers. B-Mac, -7 at home. Total 46. This looks like a large number to me, but that tells me maybe San Francisco. I have really been disappointed in Nick's Chargers. I think their coach is horrible. I think they've had a lot of bad injuries, which is not really their fault. I saw Austin Eckler's 3rd in the league in receptions, but he's he only got 300 yards. This is weird. This team I don't think is built to be able to win this game. I'll be on Frisco. I think it's not really been his fault. I don't want to blame him. I think he's very, very good, but I'll be taking the 49ers here. I'd love to get less than 7 though, so I'll play that by ear. But what do you guys say here? I can't play the Chargers. Can't play them.
I'm playing a game over the total.
I was going to say the same thing.
Over the total.
46.
Okay, like it. And then finishing up with Monday Night Football, this game in Philadelphia, the Eagles hosting the Redskins, 11 now. Philly's up to 11, the total 44. I'm going to go out on a limb here. I think the Commanders or Redskins, whatever you want to call them, I think they have a shot of winning this game. I think they're dangerous here. I think Philly is starting to smell themselves a little bit. Everybody's telling them how great they are. They haven't really played anybody. I don't know. I'm not saying they will, but I would look at an adjusted line here, alternate line, and get a little less than 7.5. Maybe take 6 or 7. You can get a plus price on that. Mm-hmm. I think the Commanders stay in the game. I'm not sure they can win. I think they have a shot, but you never know. I'll be on the Commanders. What do you guys say?
I'm buying what you're selling, Matt. I don't think the Commanders are going to find a way to win it, but I think they'll keep it close. They seem like they played in a lot of close games this year. And
they've taken a step up. Heineke made some terrible blunders last week in a game they should have won probably, but I think they'll get it back on track.
Eagles, too many weapons. Eagles.
Yeah, you've been on the Eagles.
Fly,
They're
Eagles,
good.
fly.
They're good. JP,
I might watch with JP.
Dancing in the halls of the club. So anyway, that does it for us here on Bettor's Last Stand. Be sure and get down to the Vets this weekend for the Veterans Day dinner on Saturday night. Again, the 12th, 4 to 6 p.m. Come down, drink, eat, have a fun time, show your support. We'll be back here next week, as usual, probably here in the studio as the weather has started to turn. We will keep you apprised on all of our new adventures in the Pine Room as we have a million things going on weekly. Be sure and check us out at the Pine Room Podcast on social media for all those updates. Great stuff going on everywhere. We had Wallabies. We had visits to the prison. We got soup out on the move everywhere. Crossing 6 time zones.
We got some crazy stuff maybe coming up, too.
Stuff everywhere. Be on the lookout for us. We appreciate all the support. We will see you next week here on Bettor's Last Stand. Have a great week. Good luck in your bets.
See ya.